It's actually happening. The Boston Red Sox are finally going to get reinforcements, as Cora gave us some massive injury updates on both Masataka Yoshida and Bregman, and we could use some offense from these two guys right about now. Welcome to Red Sox Digest. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you joining us. Huge updates on both Masa and Breggy. Before we get going, though, we are less than 130 subscribers away from 3,000. I would really appreciate if you can go down there and hit that subscribe button. We were trying to get to 3,000 by the end of the week. We're so close, and it's 100% free. Plus, we're going to increase content here as we get closer to the MLB trade deadline, and you're not going to want to miss the stuff that we have planned for you. Today's video, though, an injury update on both Masataka Yoshida and Bregman. Now, Masa hasn't played basically all year. We saw him kind of getting some baseball activity going in spring training, but then it seems as though the Red Sox sent him off into the shadow realm because, well, frankly, there wasn't really a spot for him at the time. Obviously, Rafael Devers had the DH spot and wasn't going to give that up, and obviously the Red Sox weren't going to take it from him. The outfield already and still is kind of a log jam at that point, but now with Devers traded, Masa and his offense could be a huge help to this team, and Cora seems to think he'll be back sooner rather than later. We'll tell you what he said in just a moment. And then Bregman, who has been on the IL since basically the end of May with that calf injury, is starting his rehabilitation process, and we have a huge update on him and when we could see him back on the diamond. We'll start kind of with an overarching theme of a bunch of injury updates. Jen McCaffrey yesterday talked to Cora, and he had this to say. Bregman hit today, and he was taking grounders on Saturday, which is today. Cora said they would reassess him next week, though, so we'll have more updates. We have a little bit more on him in a second. By the way, if you are looking at Jordan Hicks, who we traded for in the Rafael Devers trade, he has another rehab outing tonight, a rehab outing. He had it last night. It was okay. Houck has a rehab starting this Sunday, another assignment. He has been terrible on the rehab assignment. And then Yoshida, the big one here, likely to begin rehab assignment with Worcester this upcoming Tuesday, and he'll set time there in the outfield. We have a couple of different kind of reports on that, and that's kind of where we go into our first report on Masa here, and here it is. From Nesson's broadcast, Yoshida explained that he underwent surgery so that he could play the outfield after exclusively working as a designated hitter last year. So that was kind of why his throwing program got stopped and started, and they're saying he will play some defense during his rehab stint down in Worcester. Now, do we need Masataka Yoshida as an outfielder? Not really, to be quite honest. You already have Jarren Duran, Wilyer, Abreu, Cedon, Rafaela, and Roman Anthony. And frankly, I think there needs to be a trade in that aspect. I would like it to be Wilyer Abreu personally, just because I think Jarren Duran would, if he got traded, would be. It's just hard to see him getting traded after we had to trade Rafael Devers. I just can't see that going well with a fan base. Wilyer, I love him, but I do think in this situation, Roman needs to be up here. Masa can play DH and rotate in there and kind of be a split platoon, it seems like, with Rob Refsnyder. Masa also had this to say himself per his translator, saying, quote, "It's been a little longer than I expected." He said his goal was actually to be ready by opening day when he got the surgery, but it's been a long process. Overall, I think I'm in good shape and ready to go, end quote. Which is so great to hear because, I mean, we didn't really hear much from Yoshida. Like, he was starting his throwing program, and then it got halted. And then he was starting his throwing program, and it got halted. And we want his bat in the lineup, and he can hit for this entire time, but there was no place to put him because the DH spot was filled by Rafael Devers. Now the DH spot is kind of a rotating between the outfield with Duran, Roman, Rob Refsnyder getting in there, and a couple other guys they can kind of rotate through, which again, that's what Craig Breslow wanted. He wants the DH role to be kind of a rotating thing. So the fact that Masa is going to play defense in AAA is a huge thing. Now, does he get injured again there? We can't really prepare for that. We don't really know what exactly that is going to kind of do. But funny enough, when the Devers trade happened, that's when the change of tone started with Cora. See, he suggested last week that when the Devers trade happened, they could expedite Yoshida's rehab process in hopes of getting his bat to the big leagues sooner. He indicated that the possibility of a left-handed hitter returning to a platoon role with the right-handed hitting Rob Refsnyder, end quote. So what it seems like Cora's plan is for Yoshida is for that DH role to be not a rotate between Duran and Roman and that kind of group. It's going to be a DH role for right-handed bats for for Massa, and for left-handed pitchers for Rob Refsnyder. Like they're going to switch back and forth, which again, the outfield kind of creates like an interesting problem here. It's really just a place where you have to make a trade in some ways, whether that happens this season or this off season. I don't know. I know that Jarren Duran is a little bit older, but I just feel like the connection he has with this team, and I mean, he was just on Section 10 if you watch that. People like Jarren Duran. It would be a hard thing to watch this team trade away the face of the franchise and Rafael Devers because your feelings got hurt, and then go back and trade a leader like Jarren Duran. Like that would just be hard, especially how much praise Alex Cora has given. So there needs to be a trade. I don't know what exactly the point of is that, but again, it's hopeful that Yoshida will be back by the All-Star break. Apparently, he's been saying that he's been eager to play. So if we can get him back before the mid part of July, I would like that a lot. Again, the bat is really needed. The Red Sox have flat out stunk on the offensive ways without Rafael Devers. I'm not saying that he would have changed much, but the offense has stunk, and what a surprise. You trade your best offensive bat, and the offense just can't get going. So, that's what happens, and now Craig Breslow's got to figure it out. And I know what you're probably saying. Masataka Yoshida's not that good. Maybe he doesn't have that good a bat. I think people underrate Masataka Yoshida. He has a 280 average in last season, 289 in 2023, and he's got a power bat. I mean, he had 10 home runs last year, 15 home runs the year before, 72 RBI in that first year with the Red Sox. I want that offense. I need that offense for the Boston Red Sox. That's what I'm craving it right now, and we can't score a single run against the Blue Jays. Like, it's getting harder and harder to watch this team as we go, and the fact that we could potentially get Massa back would just make me feel a little better. Now, for Alex Bregman, we got a little bit of an update on him. Here's Christopher Smith of Mass Live saying, quote, Red Sox third baseman Alex Bregman hit Friday and will take ground balls Saturday. Manager Alex Cora said, this is the beginning of baseball activities for the 31-year-old who has been on the 10-day injured list since May 24th with a right quad strain, end quote. So finally, we're going to see Bregman getting back in baseball activity range. It was stated that he was going to be back before the All-Star break, and now it's looking like he'll be back probably after the All-Star break. Either way, I could use his offense as well. On base percentage of .385, 35 ribbies, and basically just the month, 2 months of games that he played. I really could use that right now, especially when you look at his season totals. And I mean, he was leading the AL, like one of the top AL bats when he went down. He's going to average at .299 for the season. That's his best average over any season. Obviously, again, he only played a certain amount of games, but I mean, 2019, he had a .296 average. That's kind of the Alex Bregman we were seeing on the field. But then he got injured, and he's been out for a while. And there's been questions of, do the Red Sox try and extend him? I think for the Red Sox, they rightfully so want to wait a little bit because they want to see how does he perform after injury. In that same manner, is he going to resign? If he's not, are the Red Sox going to trade him? Are people going to want to trade for him if he's not back before the All-Star break? Like, Bregman with the injury has put kind of an interesting case on this all, because if you ask me, I want Bregman in a Red Sox uniform for the rest of his career. And while I understand the concern that maybe he comes back and he's not great, Bregman has mentioned multiple times that he feels great. And like, this has been an easy rehab process for him. It's just about getting back out there is the big thing. And so when he does come back, what's the plan? Like, we know the miscommunications between Alex Cora and Craig Breslow. Like, is Alex Cora's intention to keep playing him? Like, if we do all this stuff and then Craig Breslow's going to trade him too? Like, I understand that the Red Sox in some ways need to become sellers or buyers, and the way it's looking, they're going to be sellers. But you also are the Boston Red Sox and freed up $200 million, and there is not a lot of good free agent bats coming up. There's not a lot. And if you trade for prospects, that's great, but then they're going to come up right as Roman's contract is over. Are you going to re-sign him?
Like, it's just put yourself into an interesting spot where you need to have a bat, and Alex Bregman is that guy. Jarren Duran, I think, is that guy. I understand he's not having a great year, but I trust that he will be, when it's all said and done, one of the top guys. Like, it comes down to premise for Craig Breslow knowing that this team needs bats and you have the money. Maybe it's not the sellers that people want, but it's going to make this team better in next year. Like, people were talking playoffs, World Series for this team before the season, and now we're sitting here in, almost July thinking the season's over and that we're going to have to sell everybody at the trade deadline, and Rafael Devers is gone. Like, the switch up on this team has been crazy, and I think for Craig Breslow, you need to understand, you made the trade, whatever. It's fine. We can get over that. You have to then make the right decisions now, and the right decision includes re-signing Alex Bregman. Let me know your thoughts on this. Obviously, we hope to see Alex Bregman and Masataka Yoshida back in a Red Sox uniform sooner rather than later, and it seems like we will. I'd like to have both of them back before the All-Star break, but seeming like Masa will be and Bregman will be an after All-Star break edition. That does it for us here on Red Sox Digest. Once again, we appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Less than 130 away from 3,000 subs. But for now, we'll see you next time here on Red Sox Digest. Peace out from Beantown.